Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Code free classic, free pepperoni pizza with any pizza purchase. Code LCFREECC, free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, we've got a lot to get to today. Now, again, joined by the great, the future coach of AZ12 Prep, Mr. Tyler Warden, and the man himself, Mr. Kobe L. Thiel. But first, all right, let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, Cody, can you put us on the screen as much as we like Little Caesars? Okay, guys, this team is we're going to break it all down. I think one of the things about this team that's going to be really, really good is they're just going to wear teams down. They legitimately can play a lot of guys, and it's not the crap where you just put in some guy that sucks and you're like, all right, we got to pretend he's good. Like, these guys can all play in a certain way.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that this is probably going to be Tommy's best personnel in terms of being able to get the ball to the rack and just being able to wear teams down over time. I think it was a great day for our guy Mo Crievis, a bad day for Dennis Walsh. Yes. 17 rebounds in 33 minutes. I think as a whole, this team has the ability to score on all three levels, and they can play 9 guys deep. It was really exciting, especially against a good St. Mary's team. I know it's an exhibition, but that was exciting to see it all come together.
Kobe?
No, I'd have to agree with that right there. I mean, that's not a slouch by any means. That's a tournament team right there, and they didn't bring their A game in certain aspects. Like, I know they shot 13 for 25 from the free throw line. I mean, that definitely hurts. And I thought at times like the offense got stagnant when Bradley wasn't in, but in general, you could tell that they're a really gritty team. They played great defense. They did what they had to do, and they beat a tournament team by 15?
Yeah, for sure.
Good showing.
Yeah, and then people asking about Awaka. Awaka's fine. I think he caught an elbow in practice, but he's going to be fine. All right, so let's just kind of go. Let's talk about Crievis first, and then we'll go from there. But like you just said, Crievis had 17 boards. He looked much better. Now again, he's never going to mistake anybody for being Jokic or something. But he's clearly a good basketball player that you can win a lot of games with at center. And he was moving better. He was finishing around the hoop. He's never going to be Shaq where he's just dunking on people. But guys, I think he's going to be more than good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, when you look at Mo, he's obviously not as athletic as somebody like Henry or somebody like Awaka, and that's fine. Like, we don't need him to be the type of guy that can take it out to the free throw line, that can shake somebody up and get to the rack. Like, we need him to plant his butt on the block, go get rebounds, get the ball inside every once in a while with a little baby hook shot. If he averages 8 points a game, I think that that's kind of a home run. If he's getting 12 plus rebounds a game, he looked a lot more fleet of foot than he looked last year. I think that we forget that in the 8 games he played last year, he was coming off of a foot injury that very clearly, hampered him. But for what this team is and the roster makeup, he fits in perfectly for what we need him to do.
Kobe?
No, I'd have to agree. I know I was telling someone a little bit ago, I really expect him and Awaka to combine for like 18 and 18. I don't expect Crievis to go out there and play, 32 minutes or whatever. I don't expect that unless Awaka's in serious foul trouble. But he acquitted himself very well. He had a dunk in the lane that I don't think...
2 dunks!
Oh, the one in the lane was really nice where he went up over 2 guys. I don't think many people thought he could do that, at least in the chat. Right. But I thought he looked pretty well. I mean, you were able to throw the ball down to him. He was able to make a couple moves. We haven't really had that post presence previously in the Tommy era, and he did. I also kind of feel like he affected a lot of shots that he didn't block, but I feel like he really affected a lot of shots at the rim, just being 7-2, 7-3. Right. He really was big impact today.
Okay, now let's see. Harry Lex asking about didn't see a ton from Aristode. He's going to be fine. Like I said, it was just kind of a first game thing. All right, let's talk about Jaden Bradley though. I love Jaden Bradley. He's my favorite player on the team. There is a level of comfort for me when he is out on the court that is just, he is just kind of a steadying influence. Guys, though, we talked about it all off season. The one thing you wanted to see was him be able to make the 3, and he was shooting the 3, and he was shooting the 3 with confidence. And like I said, if that carries over to the season, that changes things entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it's something obviously that he needed to want during the offseason. I think that 2 years ago, he was a great three-point shooter.
Right.
And I think that last year, it's a little bit of a setback. But with that said, I think that some of the other weapons that we have offensively are going to free him up a little bit more, not only in terms of driving it to the rack and being able to kick it back out, but just kind of taking some of the defensive pressure off of him. If he's able to, what did he go today? Where is it at? How many threes did he have today?
Well, yeah, at least 3 or 4
from 3-point range, right?
Yeah.
That's ideal, right? If you have him shooting 2-3 threes a game, but he can consistently hit it and he can consistently hit the big shot, I think that that's just another element. And I think what you're seeing with this team from Tommy is just versatility across the board. And you have 100 different ways of being able to beat opponents.
Right, for sure. And that's what I think is exciting about it is they look like they can basically hit from all three. Like Tyler Warden said, they can basically score from all 3 levels, and they're deep. Now, Big 12 Bobby asked a question, is this team going to go 10 deep? No, but I think it's going to go 8 or 9 deep, 8.5 deep. That's kind of what it feels like to me because you got 8 guys. Listen, I mean, the guys that are going to play minutes. You know that Jaden's going to play. You know Braden's going to play. You know ADO is going to play. You know Koa. You know Crievis. You know Tobe. And you know that Era's stowed and probably Yvonne. So there's 8 right there. And then you sprinkle in Evan from time to time. It's a deep team. And like we just talked about it, and they're good players there, Kobe.
No, it's very deep. And I feel like we're talking about Jaden. I feel like he had a certain level of swagger today. Right. He really looked like, this is my team. I'm the senior. I'm the third-year point guard here. This is my team. Right. And I felt like at times last year, he really deferred to Caleb, and rightfully so. I mean, Caleb Love, when he was on, was one of the best players in the country. Right. But I feel like this year, he had a level of confidence and was doing things and making plays that he did not try to do last year. Like that step back 3, I haven't seen that from him since the Clemson game 2 years ago.
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head, and Big 12 Bobby said this as well. It looked like this was the first time where it looked like, Jaden almost, maybe since the Clemson game, like you said, where it just looked like he was like, this is my team. This is my team. And it was great just seeing him be aggressive because when he drives to the hoop, he's a pretty acrobatic finisher. He's really good in transition. There's just a lot to like about his game.
No, he was great. And there was definitely a drop off when he wasn't on the court. I mean, the offense kind of slogged when he wasn't on, which is a little concerning. Right. But I think part of that is he's so good at running this offense that it's always going to be a noticeable change just because of he's experienced and he runs this offense to a T.
Look how professional we look. Cody James Martin is amazing. Look at this little scroll on the bottom line. That is awesome. That is cool. Cody James Martin's a man. All right, Braden Burries, that dude's the epitome of just smooth. You look up smooth in the dictionary. I mean, this guy looks like, and this is why, and again, this could come back to bite me in the butt, but whatever. These aren't normal freshmen in that we talk about that they are seasoned, that they are, you watch how they play. That is not what a normal freshman looks like there, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know anything about this team and you threw on the game for the first time with no commentators, who would you point to on this team and say, oh, well, that's obviously a freshman? Like, Koa looks like he's a junior. Braden Burries has the most polished game out of any guard that I've seen in an Arizona uniform in a very long time. Aristotle wasn't like great tonight, but like I'm not too worried about that. But you're right. These are not normal freshmen. Braden has the type of game where he can go off for 25 or 30 in a game, and it would not surprise me whatsoever. And I think you're legitimately looking at him and Koa as 2 guys that are like, freshman All-American type players. Yeah. I think Koa, just from a skill set, is going to be more of that kind of player, but Burries is going to have stats this year, and he's going to be scoring in buckets for Arizona.
All right, now Wilbur's Big Burner, be nice. He said Bryce with more points than Dwayne. I see what you're doing there, Wilbur's Big Burner. We do not like that. I'm just kidding with you. But I will say, though, I also think that we're also kind of at the stage, though, too, with this team. listen, I know I get excited and stuff, but I do think that this is going to be Tommy's best team. I really do. It just feels like it's going to be his best team. But man, you watch Burries though, and you just kind of watch. I mean, makes the three, can score from mid range, can get to the bucket. He is, like I said, I mean, he looks like a well-oiled machine. And granted, he's 20, so that obviously helps as well. But like when I saw that Big 12 roster, that preseason all Big 12 roster, there is no way in heck that Arizona is not going to have a player on the first team all Big 12. It's just not happening. Sorry.
No, I thought it was a travesty they didn't. I was like, Jaden Bradley was probably Arizona's most consistently great player last year. Right. For the most part, he was pretty damn good in just about every game. So I was surprised he wasn't on that list. But in general, I feel like this roster has the most versatility that a Tommy Lloyd team has had. I mean, you have the bruiser power forward with Koa Pete. He looked awesome, by the way. Mm-hmm. He was doing some things I didn't know you could do, like shooting those shots from around the free throw line. He was pretty damn good.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Koa Pete. Now, hold on, let's get a couple reads in here, but we got to talk about Koa Pete, and it's something that I think Pete kind of got lost in transition. All right, go back. Be nice to me right now. Be nice to me. I'm very fragile. Okay, but first, the championship package. All right, now, when you think of the championship package, what do you guys think? Besides my high school nickname, what do you guys think?
Think of Land's sister.
Yeah, I do.
I think of the lady that we joked about for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, that we did. Do we believe, Land, though, that this is his sister? I kind of do. I do believe it's his sister.
I hope not.
Yeah, after all the inappropriate comments we've made. Yes. Either way.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well. Either way, check it out. The 1997, the championship package. You don't have to go to Burundi. You don't have to go to Myanmar. You don't have to go to any of those places. And like Big 12 Bobby says, this is going to be 2026. So after this season. So you are going to want to get in there now. Save yourself $29 and get in there and get the championship package. You're going to thank me later because, again, you will save $29. So, boom, check it out. Land the man with the freaking master plan, Aris Dental, TucsonTeeth.com. Boom. All right, now what else we got? All right, now the Family Food Project. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. But, well, it's not really like that. But either way, direct aid plus life skills development, cooking plus nutrition. Donate to this. And again, you will, it's very, very good. Currently, 255 meal kits per week. 2026, 1,000 meal kits per week. Donation made with AZ12. Comment will be matched cumulative up to $10,000. That's very, very good. Yes. Check it out, the Family Food Project. All right, let's get back to some comments here. Too Busy Winning says, Sweet 16 is the ceiling again. I totally disagree with that. I think that's a negative Nancy mentality, but we're always going to have folks like that. Okay.
I don't even think last year's team was a Sweet 16 ceiling.
There was just a bad
teams that made the Elite Eight that I was like, Arizona's just as good, if not better.
He just ran into a really, really bad matchup as well. So, hold on. Is Tech coming back, actually? Mielbach.
Yeah, they just sacked Sam Levitt on 3rd and 8, and they're down 5, and they're about to get the ball back with like 2.5 minutes left.
Oh, my gosh. All right, well, all hands on deck.
It's a good one.
That's why
damn it, I wish my TV was in here.
Are they about to ASU? And I'm like, oh, yeah, they might.
All right, well, keep me updated here. All right, so they just sacked Levitt on 3rd down?
Yeah, they're punting the ball right here.
Where are they punting it from?
ASU, good return. Good return. They have the ball on the ASU 11 with 2 minutes left, down 5.
That wasn't just a good return. It was a
bad kick. They kicked it to like the 50, and then it was a great return.
Holy moly. All right, well, everybody, all hands on deck. Let's make this happen. Oh, that would be so amazing. That would really, oh, yeah. Yes. Oh.
The live watch-along play-by-play by me.
Yeah, I know, exactly. We're talking Arizona basketball in the post game, but we're just making fun of ASU. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Okay. Koa Pete, though. And I said this all year, and I don't really want to rehash the Trey era, but I'm just going to say this. All the people out there that were crashing out, as the Gen Zers would say about Carter, and saying, oh, well, we're not going to really be able to be as good because we won't have Carter there. There were other things that were going to go and play. Arizona is massively better at the power forward position than it was last year. It's not even close. You're replacing a guy with a guy who's almost an All-American type player. That's just different.
Well, look, like when we saw Carter last year on the court, there was times where we said it. I think credit to Kevin who said this, but like he
the great
looked like
Kevin
a
Thomas.
puppy. The great Kevin Thomas. He looks like he's a puppy with big paws, right?
Yeah.
He still looked young. He still looked a little raw. You knew he was incredibly gifted and athletic, but he just wasn't fully there yet. Koa, like, there's none of that. Right. Koa looked like he had been in college basketball for multiple years tonight.
Heck, you scored.
Wow.
How much time left?
2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that it's at the 2-minute warning. ASU has 3 timeouts, but Tech's going to try to go for 2 here to go up by 3.
All right. Come on, guys. Let's keep this one going, man. Hate watching at its finest right here.
Mike, the win probability on ESPN was 98.4% for ASU.
Oh,
now it is 29%.
This would honestly make my day. I mean, obviously Arizona lost, but at the same time, though, it's like,
the missus is at the game. So,
oh, is she?
She's an ASU alum. So, like, there's part of me that wants ASU to not lose solely so that, I don't have to do
I was going to say happy wife, happy life, even though, type situation. Yes. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. All right, keep me up. Did they get the 2-point conversion?
There is a flag on the play, and we're waiting to see what the flag is. You know what? I believe there's going to be a pass interference on the defense, it looks like.
Good.
And they are going to get they're going to get it. They're going to try to get on the 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's keep it going. Let me know as soon as that happens. But at the same time, though, Koa Pete's a freak. Like I said, Koa Pete's looked the same since he was like a toddler. I mean, it's amazing when you look at him and just what he is. He's going to be a monster. He's one of those guys that you look at him and you're like, all right, he's going to be 14 and he's going to be 14 and 9 pretty much all season.
2-point conversion's good.
Yes. Whoop.
Yeah, so they're up 3. But here's the thing with Koa. I mean, people talk about like, oh, it's a freshman. Carter last year wouldn't have dropped 10-4 in a game against St. Mary's in October.
Yeah.
He just wasn't there. He wasn't there yet. I mean, Koa is so far ahead of where your normal freshman is just because he's so polished and physical. He really was able to push St. Mary's around. I mean, I know Morawskis isn't a slouch in terms of a matchup either. So he really acquitted himself very well.
Right. And
let's not forget, Koa is like the 7th kid in that family to play higher level sports in some, like, your brother's Andrus Pete. All right. Like, know how you have to, acquit yourself as a collegiate athlete early on. So, and not to mention, he was on a 4-time state champion Perry team where he was the dude for 3 of those years. So it's like, he's just, it's not really comparable. He's just a lot more developed at this stage than where Carter is. And that's okay, because I still think Carter's got an insane ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
No, and I think that helps with all the family ties. I mean, he has the right mentality. He knows what it means to be a professional. I mean, Andrus Pete's still playing, and he was an all-pro 4 or 5 years ago. He's still a Pittsburgh Steeler at the moment. I mean, there are levels to that where he just knows how to be a pro.
You know what's amazing about it too is that when you've got guys like from that, and his brother's in the MNFL obviously, but then you've got his brother Cash is signed with Michigan State, his brother Todd signed with Nebraska. I mean, it's just up and up and up, on down the road there. And I think the 2 girls play college basketball.
Yeah, the sisters play college.
Yeah. So I mean, there was really no way if that guy wasn't an athlete, then something really went wrong there. It was some leftover DNA or something. So there was obviously good. Now, why no Awaka and why no deep bench until the end? Well, I think there was a deep bench. Awaka just he caught an elbow, I believe, but that's he'll be fine.
You know what was very surprising to me?
Right.
The first subs in this game were Aristode and Yvonne to spell it was either JB or Burries and Mo.
Right.
And that, I think, is the element that having Aristode and Yvonne and ADO, who are all quality players, brings, is like you can go small ball and you can have Koa play the 5 and just run up and down the court. Or you can have any of those 3 that go to, like, so you have a small forward and a shooting guard if you want Burries running the point. Like, we talked about this when we got Yvonne. There's so much positional versatility that comes from that small forward room. And then obviously ADO, like, I've been pounding the table on this for a while now. Defensively, he is not the liability that we said he was last year.
Right. And that's the thing, too. Let me ask you guys this, and I look the younger crowd here. I think ADO catches too much flack. Now listen, is he perfect? No. But at the end of the day, ADO is a useful player. You got people out here that act like, like that he's, he was born with 4 legs and no arms or something. I mean, the guy can he's absolutely a good player. And again, he's put on some girth. He's put on some.
I actually feel like he played a lot better defensively than people are talking about too. I feel like in terms of defense, that was one of his better, if not one of his best defensive games. I feel like he stuck in front of people. He was ripping at the ball. He made smart plays, like in the passing lanes. I thought he was more than fine defensively. He just didn't shoot well today.
All right, now let's see here. There was a Jeremy, but Benwin White agrees with this remark. Aristotle is pretty raw. Tommy going to polish him up. I think Benwin White would agree with that one as well. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what this means then for the Big 12. This team is built for the Big 12. No soft weenies. We've talked about this before. No soft weenies in the Big 12. And you saw last year, I think that was probably actually, I don't think it was. It was Tommy's toughest team by the end of the season because of what they went through. This team just feels like this is going to be his tough team. No soft weenies.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of physicality that this team has that you have to have in the Big 12, particularly in the backcourt. I think that there is, we're going to say if there's any questions on this team, it's the front court depth, right? Because once you get past Tobe and Mo, what are you really going to be able to roll out there if one of them's hurt or in foul trouble or whatever the case may be? But this is the type of team that you have to have in the Big 12. And, it's a prototypical team too, in the fact that Tommy wants to get downhill. He wants to get to the rack. And if you can add 3-point shooting to that, and you can add mid-range games to that, it's just going to open up things even more. I was pleasantly surprised at how many players took it to the rack tonight.
All right, where are we at with the ASU game?
They just converted a 3rd down. So it's 1st and 10 on the ASU 37.
Okay, how much time?
A minute 36, but they have 3 timeouts. They could definitely drive down and get 3. They need to stop them.
All right, yeah, we need to stop them. Okay, yeah, keep it going. All right, it takes a group effort right here. Now, I'm going to say this. Mo is a liability against stronger Big 12 defenders. My question is this, though. I don't really know, how many of those guys there are. And again, I realize I'm speaking out of both sides of my orifice. That doesn't make any sense. But, I don't necessarily know that I necessarily agree with that, though, because Houston with Sinak can't score. He's going to be a freshman. You got the big African guy from Kansas. He's good, but, he also averaged 4 points a game last year. I don't know how many guys are really going to be able to just take advantage of Mo in the Big 12.
Oh, you were talking about Kansas. I mean, he's more of an athlete than a physical presence anyways. He's more of a athletic freak. But
right.
Even JT Toppin, who most people would tell you is probably the best center in the country, he's not really a physical player either. He's
right.
Skinny and kind of soft in some regards. I mean, I don't know how many big bruiser type centers are in the Big 12, frankly.
All right, we got a 3rd down again. What do we got here coming up?
Oh, it's actually 4th down. Now it's 4th and 2, like on the ASU 45, 47 or so.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, guys. All hands on deck here. We need this to happen here.
Toby, you said they have all 3 timeouts?
They have all 3 timeouts, but it's 4th and 2 here.
Yeah.
But so theoretically, if they don't get it, they can stop the clock. But I mean,
there's only a minute left, though. So, I mean, if they did somehow get it back, you'd get it back with about 40 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
They're running the play. Levitt's running. Oh, no. Tyson.
Big play.
Tyson, big play. He's on the
30.
Yeah. No, it's even further than that, I think.
All right, where are they at?
They might be like on Texas Tech 25 with 3 timeouts.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
all right,
well, like a 30-yard pass.
All right, well, let's get a couple reads in here in the meantime. Kind of, bring myself down a little bit here. Yeah. All right, what do we got? Talk to me. All right, Copal. Yes, everybody go to Copal. Yeah, mention Mike Luke for a free elote rib with any entree purchase. Mexican food delivered nationwide at mymexicanmenu.com. Use code AZ12 for 10% off. Now, you book your next large party. Wilbur's Big Burner. Take all your friends there and say Mike Luke, and you can get some good stuff. And they also cater any event. Tucson's contemporary Mexican food. CopalTucson.com. Again, 5340 East Broadway Boulevard in the Williams Center. All right, what else we got? All right, one more. All right, Longview. Andre Veras is in here. I'm going to endorse Texas Tech, hopefully winning this game. I will not endorse Andre Veras under any circumstances. Won't happen. Not on my watch. But either way, if you're like if you want to like make some money and you're thinking to yourself, all right, how can I do this? Andre is here for you. You recently changed jobs. Let's talk through what your old 401k did. All right. And to learn more about your new retirement program, there's all kinds of good stuff. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456. And yes, U of A is still a football school, too busy winning. Okay. So now the next one that we need to talk about then, let's talk a little bit about the newcomers. What did you guys think about Yvonne?
I mean, I continue to like his game. Again, he kind of just reminds me of Pella. I think that there was an element of switching from European basketball to first time college game. There was a little bit of that. But I think that he's, again, the type of guy that's going to drive it to the rack. I think he's really good defensively. I think he's going to be one of the players that when we look back on this season, we're going to attribute a lot of our growth to him as a player and what he can kind of bring to the team.
And doesn't he feel too, just kind of like piggyback on that point, doesn't he feel like the kind of guy that's going to continuously get better as the season goes on, as he continues to adjust? He's very physically put together. I mean, you could tell by pictures, but between him and Aristotle, these are two guys that have definitely lifted weights.
Yeah, Vaughn's like the type of guy that he's going to be, it's going to be the Big 12 tournament or something. He's going to force a big turnover right into a media timeout and be jacking up the crowd and, hyping them up because he's making that big defensive play. Like, that's just the vibe that he gives off, that he's going to be a defensive playmaker, but he's not an offensive liability either.
Yeah. Kobe?
No, I've liked Yvonne since we got him committed. I feel like he's very physical. He's very well put together. And I feel like that's exactly what we need on the wings. I mean, because Aristotle's more of an athletic type. Deli is not exactly the best defensively at times. He looked fine today. But I feel like he really brings that physicality. And he does, like someone said, he has like an old man game. I'd agree with that. Get downhill, kind of use the glass. He's very – you need guys like that.
All right. Where are we at with this ASU game?
It is 2nd and 2 on the Texas Tech 14.
Okay, 51 seconds left. Yeah, it's like, all right, I got it on my phone now.
I mean, they got a chance to win it out.
There's pass interference in the end zone. So they're going to have 1st and goal.
All right. Well, whatever. It sucks. All right. So anyways. All right. So now getting back to Arizona, and obviously a winning product then. All right. So you've got, obviously, this team I think is actually going to fare better in the out of conference schedule than some people think. Because I think they're going to be ready. Like Florida, look at Florida. You got that as the first game of the season. Florida, you're going against a team that has got a ton of you've got new players on the perimeter. Now, again, you return maybe the best front court in college basketball or one of them, but Walter Clayton basically saved them in almost every single NCAA tournament game last year. You just don't replace guys like that. You just don't say, you know what, bring in a Wand or a Willy Wonka factory guy and just put him in there. You don't just do that. Just doesn't happen. I don't think they're going to be able to just replace him like that.
Well, look, like it's also going to be the first game for Florida, right? Like I think people forget that like all these other programs have the same growing pains that they have to go through. The difference is Arizona, to Tommy's credit, they schedule an exhibition matchup with St. Mary's, right? Like a team that won the West Coast Conference last year and, went up against a buzzsaw in Alabama, but was a Sweet 16 contending team. I'm curious where that line's going to be.
I'm curious as well.
Because I think that Vegas particularly Vegas early November feels like there's going to be a lot of U of A fans that go up there. It's opening night. Like I could see that being like a 2.5, 3.5 point spread. And I'm pretty optimistic about that game. Now, the non-con as a whole is a gauntlet, right? So you're not going to be 100% every single night and you're not going undefeated there. But like I think that Florida game, I think we've got a very realistic shot.
Yeah, and I very much now. Bridge Tech Communications, our guy Tony, the great Tony, very very cool. Now, Ivan Karchikov was impressive. Aristote is oozing with talent and skill, but he really needs more reps and experience. Well, that's the other thing too, is that these guys, you just think about it where they are right now and where they are 2 to 3 months down the season. You think about it from this perspective. Somebody like Carter Bryant was like a young colt in the fields, to start out the season. By the end of the year, I mean, he was really, really good. These guys, I think, are probably further along at that point. I don't know if they have that upside, but just imagine where they're going to be in 2 or 3 months. I think that's the exciting thing about the upside for this team.
Hey, they just scored a
ASU,
touchdown.
Mike.
Thanks. All right, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, though, I feel like this team has a really high ceiling. They're not playing their best ball right now.
Yeah.
They shot 13 of 25 from the free throw line. I thought at times they were kind of sloppy rebounding. And then you have guys like Aristote that have a lot of potential and just aren't really there yet, or like Burries and Koa Pete, who could just get better throughout the season. I feel like, and we also didn't see a Waka. So, right. I mean, I feel like they're a team that should get better through the season just because they have a lot of younger players.
Tyler.
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the game and I don't think you can really have negative takeaways from an exhibition game. This is for fun basically. But if I were to cherry pick things, I mean, the free throw shooting, I feel bad for the team because they're going to be shooting 1,000 free throws tomorrow in practice.
For sure.
The 3-point shooting, 4 of 16, the team has better shooters than a 4 for 16 night. Right. That makes me a little bit nervous because of some of our inconsistencies shooting the 3 last year. And then from an assist perspective, we only had 13 assists as a program. That's a number I'd like to see get up. I think it was in the half court, it was a little bit too much drive, dish, rinse, repeat. Right. And then on the fast breaks, I think it was a lot of just solo dolo, take it to the rack. But all things considered, this is a team that is going to get better and better and better. Let's not forget Koa announced in March, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Yvonne announced in June. These are guys that have just recently gotten into the program, gotten time with Tommy. And by March, I'm standing by it. This is a Final Four contending team.
Yeah, and that's where I keep coming back to as well, is that I do believe that this is a Final Four team. And Meisner said, the great Meisner put, JB looked great from 3, though. That's very promising. If you've got to guard him and get up close on him, that just opens up a world of opportunities for him to get into the lane, fellas.
Well, I like the idea, too, of being able to have 4 or 5 guys that you feel comfortable with shooting 3s. Right? Last year, it was Caleb, it was ADO, and maybe Jaden sometimes, but not really. Here, if you feel comfortable with Jaden, you feel comfortable with Burries, you feel comfortable with ADO, you feel comfortable with Karchenkov, who I think can be a promising 3-point shooter. I think that you can just – you're not going to get into those situations in the conference slate where, somebody's having an off night and it just kind of kills you, like we saw with Caleb sometimes. And where you have to be extremely efficient getting to the hoop or else you don't really stand a chance. Again, I just think that across the board in every dimension, the team just has so much more depth and versatility than any team since
and like you said, they can go small or they can go big. I wouldn't bat an eye if you're having to go small with something and you've got a Jaden Bradley, a Braden Burries, an ADO, for example, a Koa Pete, an Aristote, or a Karchenkov. If you got to go small like that, or if you want to go super big, you've got those options as well. There's just a lot to like about what they can do.
No, I actually think we will see some Waka and Crievis together just because there isn't exactly a clear backup at the 4 other than Yvonne. And I'm not sure if he's a true traditional 4-man. So I do think we could see some super big lineups where we're trying to work the high-low. I mean, that's something we haven't seen in a couple of years. That was part of the Tommy Lloyd blueprint, was that high-low action. So we could see a lot of that with the super big lineup. You can go small. I thought Koa at the 5 was a fun lineup. They were able to get up and down. Mm-hmm. It should be – They do have a lot of versatility, which is good.
All right, now is the Texas Tech game, is that pretty much over?
They're re-kicking right now. There was some penalty on the kickoff, so they're going to kick it to Texas Tech, and they'll have about 30 seconds on the clock. No timeout, so they have to score a touchdown, though.
Yeah, that's a bummer. All right. Well, either way, gave it the good college try. Now, let's see here. I don't get this one. Brad the Bully Hudson says ADO has Boswell vibes. What do you mean by that? I'm legitimately curious. I don't know.
I think ADO is more of a slot machine guy.
Yeah, I think he's more of a slot machine guy for sure.
You might be talking about
I don't see that. I mean, ADO, I think that like what's nice with having Avon and Aristode is when you have those types of nights where it's like he is not here to play, you can get him out pretty easily.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like, I mean, look, like we saw it last year. There was games where it was like, you knew in the first media timeout, it's like, all right, ADO needs to play 4 minutes for the rest of the game. I think if you run into situations like that again, you've got a lot of different chess pieces you can throw at it. Plus, given just like how much he's grown defensively, I'm comfortable leaving him out there if he's struggling offensively because he's not this glaring hole in our defense, right? Yeah. Because he's a microwave type shooter. Like all it takes is one, and he can go on a run quickly. I don't see the Boswell comparison.
And you know what's also interesting about him, too? He's a little bit craftier off the bounce than people have ever given him credit for. He's not just this guy that just stands in the corner like your stereotypical like white guy, and you're like, oh, crap, I can't dribble the ball. Like, he's actually fairly – I mean, every now and then he'll have a play where he takes a couple dribbles, he'll do a head fake, and he'll finish, or he'll, like, throw an oop or something. You're like, whoa, ADO, yeah, sign me up for more of that. You know, so he's had some moments like that. So I will I'm going to give him that. But overall, though, I like this team, and I think they're ready to rock and roll. I get what Big 12 Bobby's saying. I'm not banking on a Final Four. Nobody should ever bank on a Final Four. That's just not how it works. But, that is so freshman dependent until these guys have proven a lot more. All I would just say to that, though, is that these aren't your typical freshmen. And the one thing I would say a little bit, I saw your remark, and I would disagree slightly, is that Gilbert Perry basically takes a back seat to nobody in what they've produced in the last 5 to 6 years. And I mean, you look at it, they're going to have 3 NBA players. They got 3-4 NBA players in the last 5-6 years. Jalen Williams, Cody Williams, Koa Pete's going to be there. Bruce Branch, even though he transferred, is considered the top player in the entire class. The great Dylan Anderson, at least we forget about him. I mean, so again, there's been a lot of NBA guys that have gone through there. So,
It's funny. Mike, you remember like it was probably a week or two ago, we were saying what would the line be if Basha played NAU in football? Yeah. And it was like, oh, it'd be NAU by like 40.
Right.
If you took the 5, 6, 7 best players from Perry over the past 5 years, and you had them play NAU in basketball,
they would destroy NAU.
They would by 30. They would win.
They would.
So it's not really comparable. Like the freshman argument doesn't hold as much weight when we're talking about college basketball, and we're talking about the top tier high school programs that are putting them out, because these are kids that are forced to go to college because of the one and done rules.
Yeah. Otherwise they wouldn't be there. Yeah.
Exactly. Otherwise they'd be playing with the Lakers.
By the way, did you see what Basha did to Sal Point last night?
Telling you, man.
Yeah, no, Bash is different. Bash is different for sure. All right. Do we have any more reads, Cody? What do we got?
Yeah, hold on.
All right, what do we got?
We got Hail Mary range.
Oh,
they're on the 25. They're on the 25 with one shot.
What 25? Which 25?
They're on ASU's 25 with 3 seconds left.
Oh. Well,
ASU essentially has played prevent like 50 yards off the ball this entire drive.
All right, so they got the ball at the 25. Let's do this. Come on. Yeah. All money in. All right. All right, well, I'll read this what you guys tell me. All right, either way. Jesse's Tattoo Shop. Everybody get in there. Kobe L. Thiel said he's going to go to Jesse's Tattoo Shop and get his first tattoo. We're very excited about this. Golf Links and Pantano. 520-358-2881. Jesse's a rock star. You see it, and he's got his picture on the back of buses. He's on here. He is the man. Wear a tattoo that speaks to your story. Plus, they got some really good stuff coming up here as well, like we will show you right now. All right, what do we got, Cody? All right, yeah, the Tucson Tattoo Expo. Tucson, Arizona, October 24th, 25th, 26th. Top artists from all over the nation, live performance, vendors, food, drinks, and much more. $20 a day, $40 for a 3-day pass. InkstersTattooExpo.com, 915-319-2942, Tucson Expo Center. And they got a toy drive coming up as well, and they got a big bull. I think her name's Jen or something that people are going to be riding on. You got free Cody, you flip that over if you would. They've got they've got all kinds of stuff here. Toy drive, November 30th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Special guest DJ as well. That'll be fun. Plus $50 tattoos. Check it out. All right. All right. Comfort X HVAC, Kobe. AC, air conditioning. Let's talk about it. Do you have air conditioning in your your apartment right there?
No, I mean we've spoken about that vent before. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But
yeah,
don't work.
You need to get Comfort X HVAC out there right now. What happened? What happened?
They almost caught the Hail Mary.
They almost did though. It flipped up in the air and they almost got
thought he caught it.
Now they're storming the field.
Ugh. Garbage.
Storming the field against the backup quarterback. That's garbage.
So weak, yeah. All right. Either way, what's not garbage is Comfort X HVAC. Mention AZ12 when booking, and 10% of all the labor goes to helping local families in need. Get entered in a Christmas raffle for a $100 gift card and a 6-month filter supply. Woo-hoo-hoo. Very cool. Winter services. Cody, James Martin can talk about how great they are. This is true. Check it out. Comfort X HVAC.
Yeah, they were fantastic. Came over right away as soon as I called them. They had it fixed probably in about 12 hours from when I called them. So, fantastic experience.
Very, 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 very cool. We very much like them over there. Okay, now, all right. So I think that's it. But again, all right, not just a football school. Get these shirts right here. Again, get these T-shirts. Again, AZ12 podcast shop, fourthwall.com. And again, we need real times today. This is a great time to get a real time. Cody, if you can pull the Little Caesars one back up real quick. Yeah, code free classic, free pepperoni pizza with any pizza purchase. There's been a lot of really good deals. This is the best one going. We need real times today, please, people. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. All right, guys, let's wrap this one up here. But Arizona basketball, I think they're going to wear teams down. I think they're going to be a really, really good team this year. And I can't wait for the season to get started.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as far as exhibition games in October go, it was as good as you could have expected. There's an opportunity for them to kind of have to struggle through the game a little bit there to start the second half, and to kind of wind down the first half. Everybody was as described tonight. Even guys that didn't have their best night, I think did pretty well. And I will say, I think the punchline from tonight should be that Bryce James is the new David Baga or Jacob Hazard, because when that guy gets in, he is going to be the fan favorite on this court. So, all in all, a good night. And, just gets me that much more excited for November 3rd.
All right, Kobe, wrap it up.
No, I mean, it was a enthusiastic performance, and like I said, they didn't play their best ball today, but that just shows that they beat a really good team, and they didn't exactly play their best. And they were down one of their best players in Tobe Awaka. I mean, you can't really complain too much other than, wish we could have shot better free throws. I wish we could have rebounded a little better. But it's like, all right, you beat a tournament team by like 15, and you didn't really even play that great. I mean, you can't really complain that much about that.
All right. Basketball season is almost here, my friends. Looking forward to it. Tyler Warren, Kobe L. Field, very much appreciate you both. You guys have been amazing.
Appreciate you, Mike.
All right, everybody in the comments, we will be back with you on Monday at 10 a.m. All right, Cody, James Martin in the background. If you can get me the Jesse's read, that'd be great. But we will talk with you on Monday. TTFN, back the A, baby.